So this wretched Israeli spokesperson gave an interview about the bombing of Iran's embassy, and of course he didn't acknowledge it because the Israelis are scoundrels. But I just want to play you a few seconds and elicit your reaction.
Forces. Israel rebuffed the allegations.
I'm not going to comment to that strike, but I want to tell you that in the last 6 months, Iran is making this region escalate. According to our intelligence.
You mean Iran are wiping the floor with you? That's what you mean. Yes, we know that.
This is no consulate and this is no embassy. I repeat, this is no consulate and this is no embassy. This is a military building of Quds forces disguised as a civilian building in Damascus.
Really? So this wasn't an embassy? What did you bomb then? A chocolate factory? Who gave you permission to decide whether it's an embassy or not? The Syrian government decide whether this is a consulate or not. The Syrian government present the diplomatic staff with their credentials and vice versa when they receive an ambassador or an attaché or a consul or so on. The Syrian government gives the Iranian government this building to use as its embassy. You don't get to decide. It doesn't matter what they do in the building. They can turn it into a chocolate factory. They can turn it into a bomb factory if they want. It's none of your business. It's literally none of your business. The Syrian government has no right to attack it. You have no right to attack it, especially you. I mean, the nerve of these people. Like, he wants to kind of like, you know, talk out of both sides of his mouth and justify bombing it without admitting that he bombed it. You slimy bastard, you snake. You snake. Do you know that embassies are spy stations? Let me explain something to you, okay? The Vienna Conventions of 1961 and 1963, these were passed at the height of the Cold War. Because back then, you would have the KGB pick up an American diplomat and just say, well, he's a spy, and they'd probably be right. And then, you know, he'd end up in prison, and it just complicates things. So in order to have spies in different countries, you make them look like diplomats, right? Oh, he's a cultural attaché at the American embassy. That means he works for the CIA. Embassies are spy stations. They're not supposed to be officially, but that's what every country does with their embassies. So, and the fact that Iran is not even a hostile country, it's literally a friendly allied country to Syria. Syria knows what they're doing in the embassy. They're fine with it. They want the Iranians to help them rid Syria of this cancer. They have an Israeli occupation in the Golan Heights since '67. They have Turkey occupying the north. They have the Americans stealing oil and occupying 1/3 of the country. They've got ISIS running around in the Palmyra, in Palmyra's vicinity in the desert. They've got Al-Qaeda and 50 Shades of Jihad given to Syria by Qatar, by Saudi Arabia, by Turkey, by the West. That's why Iran, Russia, and Hezbollah had to come and clean up the mess that the Israelis admit working with Al-Qaeda in Syria. They are so shameless. They will admit to that, right? They'll admit to that, but they won't admit bombing the embassy. I mean, the scandalous sentence that he just uttered from his mouth. I mean, honestly, it's almost as bad as the bombing itself. It's not an embassy. Who the fuck asked you? Who asked you? What business is it of yours what they do in the bloody embassy? You clown. How dare you? Honestly, how dare you? Man, I'm really angry at this guy. He's a snake, a true snake.